Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live. It's Wednesday night with me, Dr. Harley, and what an exciting show we have tonight. I do have a special guest, as everybody's seen there on the thumbnail. I do have Lucas from Daytona Helmets here with me. We're going to have a great time, but first I want to say hello to everybody in the side chat. Hello, Gloria. Hello, FaZe. Good to see you. Going to get you your points. Everybody else has been getting their points as they've been coming in. Mrs. Kelfire, hello, honey. Good to see you. Corey's here. Guns is here. S&S Contracting. Evil Rick, hello. Let's see. Tito is here. Hello, Tito. Greg McBee. Shane coming all the way in from New Zealand. Good to see you. Mr. Greg McBee, a.k.a. Cupcake. Good to see you guys and everybody else I missed. I apologize. The Right Life Podcast is here. Big Mike 135, my brother in the house. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. But, hey, without any further ado, let's bring him in, the one and only Lucas. What's going on, Lucas? Good evening. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's always good to have you. You know, great meeting you down in Daytona, man. It was a lot of fun. It really was, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, tell everybody a little something about yourself and your riding experience and what you actually ride.
So I've been riding most of my life. I got a 2020 Harley Davidson Street Glide, got a 131 Oleans, pretty built, and it's fun, handles well, love going through the mountains. Riding in Florida is boring. Everybody thinks it's amazing riding in Florida. I mean, next to the ocean, beautiful weather, but it's boring riding in a straight line and no elevation. But I've been riding most of my life, dirt bikes, all kinds of good stuff, off-roading with side-by-sides. I'm a motorhead, car racing, off-road with Subarus. Been doing stuff like this most of my life.
Yep, right on. Now, I always say, every time I go to Daytona for Bike Week, you know, I'm going down there, I'm going to ride the back of the Gator. It's 318 miles with 11 turns.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the most boring ride.
But
I mean, it's the highlight of Florida, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, riding in Florida on the interstates, if you're doing 90, you're just keeping up with traffic.
Yeah, that's where we get our thrills.
Yeah. And riding that where I live, you're going to jail. Because speed limit's here at 55. So I could go down there and ride the speeds I like to ride without an issue or being harassed, which I love. That's the one good thing about riding in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So let's get into it, man. You know, how did Daytona Helmets get started?
So the story behind the family business is the grandfather and son started building helmets together because the grandfather was, you know, hanging out with motorcyclists, small clubs, and nobody was wearing helmets. I mean, this is back in, I guess it's been 34 years, early 90s, and nobody was wearing helmets where he was. And he basically said to his son, if you could make some helmets, come up with this, you know, we'll see how it works. And that's how the German style helmet started. And then, you know, a few decades later, it's in all the Harley Davidson dealerships, you know, the majority of them, and they've been known for that for decades. Wholesale, of course. And then some years ago, they started doing some retail work, and that's where we are now. They've developed the full face line that's known as the Viper that we'll go over, and then the C6, the modular that you're wearing. And they've always had other full face and modulars. They've had some entry-level helmets for years. They have a full catalog, half shells, chopper helmets, 3/4, you know, I mean, really good helmets. But they started in the novelty half shell, German style was the first helmet.
Yeah, right on, right on. Now I got to get a new half shell. But just for the fact is, I bought a faux carbon fiber one last year in Daytona, and I do want to order a half shell from Daytona Helmets because I'm going to say this right now, and I told you this earlier, right before the show, and I want everybody else to hear this. The Daytona helmet C6 that I have is the second most comfortable helmet I've ever worn, but it is the most comfortable motorcycle helmet I've ever worn. The most comfortable helmet I ever wore was my flight helmet, and And I'm saying that because when you get your flight helmet issued, it is fitted for you and your head and everything. It wasn't one size fits every measurement from A to Z. You know, there was no small, medium, large, extra large. It was, here's a helmet, we're going to build it to your head.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say it's the second most comfortable helmet, but the most comfortable motorcycle helmet I've had. And I'm loving it. And if you guys haven't seen the video where I went through the helmets, go ahead and watch that at another time and date because it's the C6, it's all carbon fiber, and it's like 1.5 pounds. It's so much lighter than my previous modular, and I love it. Speaking of which, let's talk about the construction. Can you tell us the construction of these helmets?
Well, the carbon fiber is, in my opinion, you know, some helmet brands will do a carbon fiber Kevlar blend, and you know, we're not going to talk about other helmet brands or anything like that. Only positive stuff. But there are brands that are able to save, I guess, savings and get a lower price point and advertise as carbon, but sometimes there's a Kevlar blend in that. We do not do that. It is full carbon fiber. Actually, give me 2 seconds. So sorry.
Okay, no worries. No worries. So, guys, if you have any questions, put them in the side chat, and I will highlight them as much as I can as they fit into the conversation.
So they are, and let's talk about mainly, I want to focus on the Viper and the C6, obviously.
Right.
We have so many helmets. We would be here for hours if we really went through everything. But the carbon fiber, the weave, the relationship, you know, with the people that are building our helmets, it's 3+ decades. You can't get better quality control until you have relationships with companies, you know, like that. And the quality control, the materials on the inside of the helmets, that's why they're so comfortable and they're so quiet and they last. They've really put a lot of effort into the engineering. And when you look at the helmets, you can see the inspiration from certain kinds of sports, from MotoGP to the average guy on a S1K, you know, BMW crotch rocket, or a guy ripping a built road glide. The quality of the helmets really represent what the people that are going to be, you know, the end user.
Yep.
I'm not the ace when it comes to telling you everything about how the helmets are built, and I would never try and exaggerate that. I can only tell you from the quality that I'm able to touch and feel from my own perspective, and that's why I'm riding in these helmets. I fell in love with it. I mean, I came from a Ghost Bandit that I thought was a great helmet, you know, until I put this on, and I was just blown away that this helmet manufacturer that's in Daytona that just went retail a few years ago, most people didn't recognize. I mean, people walked up to us at the booth in Daytona saying, "Where are you guys out of?" I mean, I don't know. Just look at the sign. Where are you? And it happened.
Actually, you're less than 2 miles. The headquarters is less than 2 miles away from the raceway.
Yeah, exactly.
But Tito, if you're checking out their helmets, please use my link. It's scrolling across the bottom. You'll get 15% off. I make nothing on it, but you'll save 15% if you order using my link.
So I don't want to hijack what we're doing here, but I see 3 really good comments, and I want to run through those really quickly.
Okay.
So one person said, "My Simpson is loud AF." I came from a Simpson Ghost Bandit. I understand. This helmet is extremely quiet compared to that Simpson helmet. And that's one of the reasons that I started working with this company. I actually met the owners at a restaurant locally about 9 months ago. And I had my helmet sitting on the bar, and the young son, which is in his early 20s, sat down beside me and schooled me on helmets. And that's when we started talking and working together. And they had the Viper was the prototype was almost finished, and I started, you know, riding with the helmet. I was just blown away. So compared to that Ghost Bandit, quiet, The agitation, vibration that I experienced in that helmet, obviously no longer when you get in a Daytona helmet. When you look to the left or to the right in my Ghost Bandit, the wind would catch it. This thing is so aerodynamic, which goes into another question that somebody mentioned about, they were asking about their...
What's the noise like at 110 miles an hour? I could tell you.
Yeah, Tweedle.
Personal experience riding around Daytona with it, because before I highlighted it, I wanted to test it out and make sure that it looked good. It felt good, but you really don't know until you ride with it. So I ride around Daytona. I was up on the highway. If you're doing 90, you're keeping up with traffic, and I can't keep up with traffic. I like to be in the front of the pack as like a race car driver. So, I'm flying up 120 plus, allegedly. And I had no problems with wind noise. I actually had to turn up my stereo, which I got a 1,000-watt amp on, almost all the way up so I could hear the music. Where on my other helmets, I didn't have to turn it up as high. So it is quieter. It is more enjoyable to ride with. And since then, I put the Sawicki pipe on the bike, so it's a lot louder than what I had in previous.
I ride with a Trask 2-in-1 as well on the Street Glide, and it's very loud. But one of the good things about the C6, obviously, we mentioned your experience, and it's quiet. The Viper as well. The Viper has the locking mechanism like a MotoGP, and I ride with it cracked until about 50 miles an hour, and then of course the force of the wind is going to bring it down. It's super quiet like this, but when I lock it, it gets even quieter. And there's a gasket right up here, of course, that seals that interior.
Yep.
And rain doesn't get in there. And obviously we run the full pin lock system, which is standard on these helmets. You'll see the gasket inside of there, the pin lock gasket.
Yep.
It's so quiet. It's nice. It's a really wonderful helmet to be inside. It's a great environment. When it's pouring the rain, I can still go 80 or 90 up the highway as long as I'm not around a bunch of cars. If I need to slow down because of water, that's one thing. But you can see it does not fog up. It will not fog up. As long as that gasket on the pin lock is set properly, you can just keep riding. It's a great helmet. And I mean, the price is obnoxious for...
Been on a shopping spree with
most people don't believe it.
Since I've been back from Daytona. Not only did I buy one for myself, I bought one for my wife. And then we bought the Bluetooth communicators, which we're going to get into in a little bit, and the tinted visors. So, I mean, they from soup to nuts, they have everything. And a lot of companies offer, discounted visors for, most brands. And they don't have them, but they're more expensive than what I paid for the green tinted. And I got the green because everybody knows my Road Glide. It's the envious green fade, and I thought it looked really cool. Which I'll be putting my left lane for crime on the front of this soon, which I have in here.
There you go.
Big shout out to Big J from Left Lane Syndicate. But I love this helmet. I think it's the most comfortable motorcycle helmet I've ever worn, and I couldn't express enough without inviting you on. I'm glad you're here. But here's a good question from my brother Tweedle. It says, what makes yours better than my Scorpion, whatever, R1 Air, loudness and aerodynamics?
Well, I can't give a subjective answer to that because I've never had a Scorpion helmet. Obviously, we know there's plenty of great helmet brands out there.
And Scorpion is that's a good helmet. That's a great helmet to have.
And I've never been in one. I really think helmets are so subjective. Everybody's head is different. People are looking for different aspects of a helmet. The general, survey is it quiet? Is it comfortable? Can I hook my sound system in it? You can put a Cardo, a Sena, Lexan. You can put any of that in any of our helmets. They're already prepped and ready for that. So just stick it in there. We also have our own that we offer. We have a solo for just one person that's never going to talk to anyone. music. They can listen to music, talk on the phone. We have a BT2, which allows up to 8 riders. And then we have
BT2. I got
there
2
it
of them.
is. And then we have, obviously, we also have one of these with a 4K camera on it, and it takes amazing footage for those people that maybe just want to do a little vlogging or just record it for safety in case anything ever happens. We do offer those 3. We have colored shields for the helmets. I see some comments in there. Absolutely. We do have photochromic shields as well. We're sold out on those right now for both helmets, but they are coming back in stock very soon.
I can't wait for those to come back in because I'll probably be ordering not 1 but 2.
Yeah.
Even though I got the green shields, but the photochromic, which are, if you guys don't know, they're self-tinting. So they'll be clear at night and they'll tint during the day. And absolutely. I'll tell you, my only complaint I have with Daytona Helmet is on the inside. Now, we haven't talked about this. On the inside, you have that drop-down tinted shield.
Yeah.
Now, I have blue eyes. It's not dark enough.
So, obviously, that is there as extra.
Yep.
And it's, I believe it's around 15 to 18% is all that's going to block.
Yep.
But it's also, in case you were to crack your shield when you're out riding and it's not usable, in case you want to throw the modular up and you don't have glasses, you can drop that down. I actually have ridden with that when I was wearing my C6, which we'll talk about is the one that was on Sloppy Stunts when he had the accident.
Yep, shortly.
Absolutely. I would just use that at night because the weather was just so beautiful. And I'm not a modular person. I love the straight full face, but of course I had to use the product so I could honestly say it's this good or we need to work on things. I test the equipment and a few other riders as well, but we use that at night. And I have the Baja Designs lights, so they're super bright. So that didn't bother me at all. But it's a good backup. And then if you don't have a shield that's tinted during the day, and some people like to wear their prescription tinted regular glasses, that's a good addition to that in their glasses. And that's why we made that C6 so you could put the glasses right in, which as you saw there.
Yep, I'll bring it up right now since you're talking about it.
Yeah,
you have these little red things here that have sunglasses built right into it. So you can put your glasses in without it interfering or creating more hot spots on your head.
And it's nice for people who have prescription glasses and they always want to wear those when they ride. That's why a modular is such a great helmet. And the market really needed a helmet like this that is lightweight. I think your scale, you came, what was it, right at 2 something for the C6? What'd you weigh that as?
It was just under 2 pounds or just at 2 pounds.
Yeah, that's what it weighed in for you. Yeah. So you pick up any other helmet that's not a carbon fiber helmet and you hold that helmet, you're like, gosh, this thing feels great. And fatigue over a few hours of riding, most people don't realize how much fatigue you actually get from a helmet. And then if it's not aerodynamic, it's pushing when you don't realize,
Yep. And the weight of it on your neck and on your shoulders. And after a 4 or 6 hour ride, let's say if you're on the highway for 4 or 6 hours, like Mel and I do all the time going to and from events, like when we ride to Gettysburg, it's 6 hours of highway. And, you start getting a stiff neck and you're sore. I can't wait to ride 6 hours in this helmet, to be honest with you. Because I'll do a follow-up review after Gettysburg. How was the helmet after 6 hours? And and like everybody knows, I will give the most honest review I can because I got no skin in the game. To be honest with you, I got no skin in the game. I really don't. I'm not making money off of Daytona Helmets, but I always say I want to bring you guys the coolest and best products that I can find at rallies. And this was one of the coolest, actually the coolest product I found at the racetrack.
Yeah, it was really
hard
cool
to say in Daytona. The coolest was my Galpa rotors.
It was really cool meeting you. You didn't walk up saying, "Hey, I've got a YouTube channel. Can I do this? And can you give me some free stuff?" It was real. It was organic. You supported us. and that was really cool. And you offered to do stuff for us just out of being a kind person, finding good stuff for your viewers and really putting in work for them.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
And full transparency, you gave me a 50% discount right then and there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's no more than what anybody else, since I came back from Daytona, that you're offering everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great. I appreciate the honesty. If you had anything else to point out, it would have been great if you did.
Yep.
But I always challenge people for the product quality, the price, what the helmet's really built for. Find what you don't like about it. And we can't please everybody. There's going to be issues,
Yeah.
There's,
like I said, the only issue I have is that drop down shield isn't dark enough for me when the sun's in my face. But if that's my only issue with it, I think I'm doing pretty good.
And here's a quick fix. We have people that say, I like using that a lot, and not saying this helmet specifically, but like in the glides, they have a clear shield for night. All they do is go get some window tinting for a car, and they just put fresh window tinting on it as dark as they want it, and that's how they run it.
Yeah.
They just put a piece on it and they're done.
Yeah. And MC Crimson Glide Bill, another brother of mine, I love him to death, says drowning sound, we run loud exhaust. Yes, we do. And I can tell you, I could still hear my exhaust. I could still hear what's going on around me, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing is the wind noise is cut down, but I did have to jack the audio up on the radio to hear my stereo, which isn't bad.
Right. And that's a good thing. Like we talked about, you still need to hear some of the ambient noise. You need to hear things happening around you. So if we completely shut off, the sounds of around you, that's not going to be too safe. I personally only listen to the music in the helmet if I'm on a sports bike or a bike that doesn't have external speakers. I prefer having the external noise because I do like hearing what's out and around me ambient wise. The droning sound of the exhaust, like I said, you and I both have 2-into-1s and they are loud. It's a different sound range that gets into the helmet. So if we looked at, the hertz meter through sound, like bass is really low, like 30, 40, 50 hertz. And then you get into the higher, it does take a lot of that low end raspy, even the raspy drony sound out of the helmet. It's comfortable.
Now, somebody asked, can you put that, that brake light on the back of the helmet? Yes, you can. It's pretty well rounded like every other helmet back here. So yes, you can mount it back here. It will not interfere with any airflow or any ducts or anything like that.
Yeah, and we also have on the back of the helmet, obviously if you have the helmet on here, you've got 2 reflectors.
I noticed that after I bought the helmet. I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So, if you're a rider down, thanks, love. Got more whiskey. I ask and I receive.
Cheers.
Here's
a fun fact, actually, while we're on that, really quickly. If anybody knows what this place is, say it in the comments for a free gift.
Oh, there you go.
That's all you get is right there. And that's it.
So, let's see. I'm getting caught up here. Let's see. What fastening system are the helmets? Okay, it's a clip fastening. It's not there's a loop to adjust, but it's a quick clip.
It's a quick, quick release. Gonna get right into there. Whoop, sorry. It's a quick release, just goes right inside. I'm trying to see if I can do it on the camera here. Slide right in, and then you just pull the tab, comes right out. So you can put this helmet on, and most of our helmets easily, even some of our half shells with gloves on, they're very easy to get on and off, preset, just clip it in, pull it off. And that's starting to become standard across, a lot of helmets these days. But if you're rocking a brand like, let's say, Simpson, you don't have it.
Yeah. I mean, that's key. When you're riding with a group and everyone's like, hey, let's go. You slap your helmet on, just clip it and you're going. You're not fiddle fucking around with it,
Yep. I see the comment here, dang, need a carbon rolling throttle carbon helmet. We can definitely do special graphic runs for companies.
Rolling Throttle right there. That's the first sticker that went on my helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
Drew, Rolling Throttle Life, he's got an online reseller. Hopefully you could hook up with him. Maybe he can offer his helmets on his website. Hopefully,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know.
If anybody wants to reach out to me, it's super simple. It's just affiliates at DaytonaHelmets.com.
Yep. I will be putting that link that message into the description of this video after the live is over. So, please be patient with me. But there is a link in the description with the link to get 15% off. So you don't want to miss out on that. 15% is good. And if you want a C6, which is their modular, they're out of stock till mid-May, but you can pre-order and you send an email to the affiliates. I have it right here at DaytonaHelmets.com with your name, your phone number, and your helmet size. And they'll get you on the list because once when you guys released the C6 carbon helmet, they sold out fast.
Sure did. So yeah, if you I was looking at the comments. Droop got that right on the koozie that I had. If you guys want to pre-order, just send an email to affiliates at DaytonaHelmets.com with your name, phone number, size, and your address, and we'll stick you on that list, and we'll call you when they come in.
Yep. What does it take to be a dealer for Daytona Helmets?
Oh man, you just got to send me an email. We'll get you set up. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I work in my garage on a lot of bikes, and one of my preferred vendors is Rolling Throttle. So if I need a Sawicki Speed exhaust, or if I need suspension technologies, or if I need a Thunder Max, that's the first person I go to. Yes, I could go to Sawicki, I could go to Suspension Technologies, but my thing is that's my brother's small business. Support your family, support one another as much as you can.
Absolutely.
That's the best way. That's the best thing I can tell everybody. Support the family, support each other. RollingThrottle.com. They might be having Daytona helmets in the future for a charity ride, but I'm used to upper back between each other. But yeah, Kelp Fire darling, she's family. I love her to death. Her and her husband backline. Where tradition is when we go to Daytona, we stop off in Virginia, have dinner with them. You get one of these helmets. I won't say all of your neck and shoulder pain will be gone, but with the carbon fiber modular helmet, it's a lot lighter than any other helmet that you have.
You're definitely going to be on your way to a better, more comfortable ride.
Yeah. So she wants to know, how about having a chin mount for the GoPro? I think that'd be kind of hard because you got the two, not one, but two vents on the chin.
Yeah. Can you hold the front of that helmet up really quickly? I just wanted to check. Yeah, we're working with chin mount for the Viper, but I don't think we were submitting the C6 just because of its construction.
Yeah. Like I said, you got not one, but you have two right here, vents that allow more air in. And the way you explain it to me is you create your own atmosphere within the helmet. And
yeah, exactly. So like the Viper, you've got this piece of material here that helps to keep the air from shooting up underneath the chin. So there's two separate environments, because obviously the summer we want as much airflow as we can get, but in the winter when it's chilly, you want to be able to control that environment so the heat of your head stays in there and it stays comfy. Summertime, I mean, it is what it is, especially depending on where you live and what kind of climate you're in. But the Viper, I mean, I'm a full face guy. I love the C6, but I just love the full face. I don't use the modular. I don't need it. So the Viper is for me, and it just, the airflow is amazing. Even when I close the vents when it's cold, it still gets a little air. And if I want to stop that, you can either put a head sock on or just something light around your neck. I would rather have a helmet have too much air and I can control that versus not enough.
Bingo. because, riding around in Florida during the summer,
Yeah,
the more air you get around your head, the better off you are.
absolutely.
Hey, Droop, how you doing?
Yeah, there's our winner.
Yep, Droop.
Yep.
Yep, Smoky Mountain Harley. I'll
There
be
it
there again. I will be there again for Smoky Mountain Bike Week.
Probably be there too. So we'll maybe
Dude, let's hook up and go for a ride somewhere.
Yeah, we
Whether
can.
it's the back of the Dragon or Devil's Triangle. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of the Tail of the Dragon. It's an overrated, overdriven road.
Yeah, I was on there 5 times last year. That's where I like to go a lot. We'll just jump on the motorcycle here, and I went up there during Memorial Weekend. We left on a Thursday, did about, I don't know how much it was, like 1,200, 1,400 miles.
Yep.
We were on the bike for 4 days, 2 days up, riding around, 2 days back. It was a blast. But we go there all the time.
Getting back to Droop, since he won the swag, he sends an email to affiliates at DaytonaHelmets.com to claim his swag, right? Because you said it.
Yep.
There you go. I got to get some Daytona Helmet swag myself, T-shirts or something. Or I don't wear hats. I don't do hats.
Yeah, we're actually, like I said, the company just really went retail the past few years. The bike events started light, and we're really developing everything we're doing right now. We're working on apparel. We have influencers, we have stunt riders and different aspects.
Yeah, you have Bird Gang. That dude is awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
I can't stunt ride. He's coasting 20 minutes from me. So, I have, like, in my opinion only, the premier stunt riders in the country, 20 minutes from me, and I love those guys. But Bird Gang, whole different level.
Yeah, they're he's a character. We were actually at Seminole Harley Sunday, and then he was at Treasure Coast Harley on Saturday. So they're doing stunt shows on the road. Him and Clay. It's under a brand called 12th Co.
Yep.
It's good. It's good. Harley Davidson finally realized they need to put some influence in their world. It's good to see guys like East Coast and Concrete Cowboys, Bird Gang, and Daytona HD Wheelies, a bunch of different brands out there being recognized for what they've been doing for a few decades. But now it's mainstream. I mean, you went to the Harley Davidson setup at the Speedway. I mean, you saw premier stunt guys pushing their brand. And
East Coasting was there.
Yeah, East Coasting did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Concrete Cowboys and Monster Brewing were around town doing shows. It's really cool to see.
Then Friday night you had drifter drags.
Absolutely. The Drifter Cross, Daytona Drift is at Volusia Top Gun, which if you're ever in Daytona, Volusia Top Gun is your restaurant, gun store, and gun range with live music and such. They do the Daytona Drift event during Biketoberfest and Bike Week. This year it was hosted by Saddleman.
Yep. And suspension technologies and rolling throttle and OF performance. There was a lot of sponsorship in that event. And I could tell you, being from the communist state of Connecticut, when it comes to gun laws, I walk into Volusia Top Gun and I look and drool at all the guns that I'm not allowed to have.
And what's funny is, you've got fully auto in there. You can go in and shoot just a barrage of really fun firearms. Then you can slide over for a beer and then maybe even take a couple guns home if you're into it. Used guns, brand new guns. It's a really cool spot. And to be able to have fun like that in the parking lot and host bike events, I mean, where just the common person comes, MC clubs come, you've got guys, walking around with $150,000 bikes. And then you've got some old 03 Dynas just shredding around barrels, having a good time. It's a blast.
Yeah, it was. I was out there in the middle of the parking lot, getting some video at Volusia Top Gun when they were practicing on Sunday before Performance Hangover show. I was there hanging out, having a good time. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you got to experience that. if you come to Daytona for Bike Week, you have to experience that event. It is a blast.
Not just that, Daytona Helmets had a bike night, and you told me about it, and I went because you had me at free barbecue.
Yeah.
Daytona Helmets had a bike night on Friday afternoon to early evening, and there was a guy giving out free pulled pork sandwiches, which were amazing.
Yeah.
You take it from me, I'm a fat kid. And you got to go into the showroom, which was awesome to go and walk around and touch and feel all the helmets that they have. And it was great. Thank you for letting me know about that, by the way.
Absolutely.
So are all the helmets made right there in Daytona, or are they made off-site at a manufacturing plant?
Yeah, we have a couple manufacturing plants. That's just the helmet industry, especially carbon fiber. You know, carbon fiber comes from other countries. You know, if you got like an Arai or a Shoei, you know, they've got their plants in their native countries and so on. It's just that's just how the helmet industry works.
Yep.
Our showroom is, as you know, epic. The warehouse, there's hundreds of thousands of helmets.
Not C6s though, unfortunately.
They sold out. But our logistics, our customer service, you know, we're a company that you can just look on our website, get our phone number, call, and a human being's going to answer. And those people are subject matter experts. They handle the wholesalers. They know the helmets.
I'm going to interject at this point on my experience with customer service. I know I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because
That's
you
okay.
brought it up, and I think it's very, very important.
I'm glad it happened to you, and we're even able to share it with people, you know?
Yep. Well, you know, I came home and Mel really liked the helmet. I didn't want to buy one for her there because I didn't know if she would like it or not. And she loved it. And she's like, oh my God, this thing is so light. So I ordered one for her. It was a small. And we ordered one. Now, at the shows, they take her visor and all the mechanicals of it because and history teaches us something. They always get broken because of people abusing them and not doing the right thing. So I came home and I ordered Mel's small. I ordered it on a Monday. It was at my house by Wednesday. Then I decided I'm going to order us the tinted shields. So I ordered the tinted shields, and her new helmet sat in the box untouched. Well, actually, no, I took it out of the box. She tried it on, made sure it fit. We put it in the cabinet for the helmets. Then I'm changing the shields, and I was like, hey, look, honey, the shield. And it was missing. That was on a Sunday. So Monday morning, I called down to Daytona Helmets, and I says, hi, my name is Robert Chop. This is my order number. This is the problem I'm having. They're like, okay, hold on, no problem. I got transferred over to the next person. He's like, all right, no problem. Understand. We'll ship you out another one. Didn't ask for a credit card number. Didn't ask for anything. We're going to ship you another one, and please ship us that one back.
Mm-hmm.
That was on Monday. Today's Wednesday. I already have her helmet here yesterday on Tuesday with the return label and everything. Customer service is one of those things today that is a forgotten art. And my experience alone, I speak on, is the Daytona Helmets customer service is second to none. I put them right up there with Custom Dynamics, which is a huge company that's global. I'll put them right up there with them because their customer service was second to none.
That's awesome.
My sister Kelfire asked a great question. Is there anything to talk about carbon fiber being less flexible during impact than the standard ABS or polycarbonate? Great question.
And that's definitely a question that's a little above what I'm able to answer, unfortunately. I can tell you that being in a carbon fiber helmet is going to be the best case scenario for your head. The impact, and that's why it's as strong as it is, and the way that the blunt force impact travels the energy through the helmet.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I can't answer her specifically. I don't have that information. We could always, have our subject matter experts answer those for you, and you can bring those up in
Yep.
another.
If you send them to me, I will definitely make sure Cal Fire gets it. And that's an excellent question.
Yeah, we do that.
CNH Electrical Light says we need stickers. Well, if you want some of the Dr. Harley stickers, all you got to do is send me an email, and I will send them to you. No, I'll pay for the postage and everything, and you could get them. But if you talk about Daytona helmets, I don't know what stickers.
Maybe I can send you a nice little batch, and you can send them out with your Dr. Harley stuff.
There you go. So send me an email, and I'll get you guys the stickers. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. There you go. Hey, Dave's here. Dave's here, man. How you doing? He's coming in all the way from, I believe it's Arizona. Yeah, I read. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hardwire. You and I are the same way, brother. You and I are the same way. But let's see. Yeah, with Joe Daytona. Yeah. Yep. Tweedle built the course and everything with Joe Daytona. Customer service. Yep, is awesome. See, everybody's sitting there going that. Now, the styles of helmet that's available. You got the half shells. You got the novelties. You got the full face. There is the modulars. Did I miss any?
Yeah, we've got 3/4, the chopper style helmet.
Okay.
And so we've got the.
We also have our Glide, which is our entry-level modular. Right now, obviously, the C6 is sold out. Probably not going to have that until, we're going to say safe, June, July. I believe it's late, like mid-June, July. But we do have the entry-level C6 modular, and that price point starts out at $172 before Dr. Harley discount. So if you wanted to try one of our helmets before that C6 came in, that's what I would suggest. And then when you jump up to the C6, you'll definitely see the difference from the Glide.
Well, Cal Fire, these are DOT approved and ESE approved, which is a European specification.
Yeah. So
they do meet, global safety standards. ECE, that's what it is. R22.06. Thank you. And they're very inexpensive. Now, if you wanted a non-carbon fiber helmet, they are a lot less expensive than the carbon fiber, which come in at how much?
So the C6 is currently $439.
Right, $439 for the carbon, but the non-carbon fiber price.
So the C6 only comes in carbon fiber.
Right.
And then we have the Glide, which is the entry-level modular. That's $172 before any discount.
So 172, and the Dr. Harley discount counts for that, so you get 15% off of that. So you could save yourself a little bit of money, get yourself a new helmet, keep your head safe, because what's inside of here is more valuable than anything you ever owned, and all the information that you have and all your experiences. And your family would love that you're still here.
And I want to, it's funny. I was just talking about this a couple of days ago. You've got people with sport bikes. We've got adventure bikes, Harley cruisers, things like that. There's such a cultural thing with, crotch rocket sport bike guys. The helmet and the bike are really synonymous, and they spend a lot of money on helmets. The culture of cruisers and Harley and stuff like that, they just don't put money in lids, man. And I really want our helmets to help people make a better decision. You don't have to buy an $800 helmet because everybody else is wearing it. Okay.
Yep.
You don't have to wear that cult following helmet because you saw, a Diamond wearing it, or an MC Club, or this and that. Don't feel pressured. There are really good helmets out there for great money, and we are that company. Our helmets, you'll love them for the price, the comfort, affordability. aesthetics, ventilation. It has all the creature comforts you're looking for, but don't just wear a helmet because someone else does. Put a helmet on, try the actual helmet, know what it feels like. Most people that buy helmets, they're buying the helmet for the first time after they just bought a motorcycle. They don't even know what they're looking for. So really,
that brings up a really good question. Let's say somebody buys a helmet from Daytona Helmets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they really don't like it, and they want to return it. Can they call the customer service and tell them, hey, look, this isn't for me. I really don't like it. These are the reasons why I don't like it. Can I return it and get a refund? Is that a thing or no?
It's not a thing because most people don't do it, but it is a thing if you need to. You can't make a helmet for every head.
Yep.
And some people that buy helmets, they haven't had an education on helmets because they haven't put enough on their head. They haven't ridden another brand to even see the difference. It happens, it's actually very rare. A lot of people come to our showroom to try the helmets on. So
yeah. When I was driving race cars, my racing helmet for the SCCA was an HJC.
Yeah.
Which was a Snell rated, it was an NHRA rated, it was an SCCA rated. It was a very well rated helmet, which doesn't come at a cheap price.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You have to, it had the vent tube and all that. Not a very inexpensive helmet, but when you talk about automotive racing, how much is your head worth? Exactly. Same thing with motorcycling. How much is your head worth? And it used to be the most expensive helmet was your best helmet. Now it's so competitive that, okay, what is the best helmet within your budget?
Yeah.
And also meet the standards. Mm-hmm. That's what I found in Daytona Helmets. It's well within my budget that I can afford to buy not one, but two helmets for my wife and I with new communicators, which I have right here, and we're going to be talking about that in a minute. That I have full confidence, God forbid, and I hope to God I don't go down. If I do, I have full confidence that helmet's going to protect my head.
Yeah, we're going to cover that in a few minutes.
Yeah, which I have a video to show, which I'm going to bring up in a minute on Instagram. And if you want to give the segue on what happened.
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to mention was, I paid $1,000 for my carbon fiber helmet in Cardo some months ago, obviously. And I didn't know how bad of a helmet I was in until I was in a better helmet. That was only the second helmet I'd purchased for, riding a Harley. Sport bike helmet was different. And when I got in these helmets, I couldn't believe what you can get for the amount of money. Companies are charging astronomical amounts of money for helmets because they have names. And like I said, the cult following. And people are buying helmets that have like no ventilation, that are vibrating, that are loud and obnoxious. And it's just like the creature comforts aren't there. I don't get it. So we took all that away. We took all that away, said, look, here's what we got in this stuff. And I mean, tariffs are coming right now. Prices are going, we're going to incur costs with a bunch of stuff. Everybody's going to, have to deal with stuff like this, but we still have great helmets at a great price. We can't justify the crazy prices people charge for stuff.
Now, here's a good question from Steve Turner, longtime subscriber, been with me almost from the beginning. Are the entry-level helmets, which I'm saying are non-carbon fiber, I'm going to assume that, as quiet as the carbon fiber helmets? I can't speak from experience because I haven't ridden with the non-carbon fiber helmets. Mm-hmm. Are they as quiet as the carbon fiber helmets?
So our entry-level full faces, the Glide, the Glide Modular, the Detour, I'm going to say that there is a different level of noise reduction in those helmets based on...
More noise reduction or less? Put you on the hot seat here.
So I haven't ridden in the Detour. I have the Glide a couple times. I've been married to the Viper and the C6. Those helmets are a little bit heavier. The materials are not as plush and comfy and sound absorbing. So I would say they are a little louder. I wouldn't say that they're louder than the $800 helmet that I own, though. I would say they're actually less than that.
That's a bold statement. That is a very bold statement. And you know what? Hey, you gave me a great idea for a video comparison. Might have to order a regular helmet and do a ride comparison.
Yeah, maybe we could get a Glide, get you a Glide. That way you can be able to say, you know, this is the entry-level modular. Here's the C6. Here's the truth behind it, you know.
And I'd be happy to send it back. This way you guys have it for inventory, things like that. You know, I don't look for anything for myself.
You're not going to use it.
I get some products. I get some products given to me to do a video on. And once the video is done and it's posted and everybody can see it, you know what I do? I end up giving it away on the live.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
because you've got the C6, you're gonna be like, well, listen, I've already got this here, so.
But I paid for it.
Yeah.
And I love it. You know, I mean, there is a thing that someone says, I just bought this. This is the best thing out there. If anybody's watched my videos, you know, I will tell you the truth. You know, I bought and paid for, I'm going to say, the Lovejoys. I bought and paid for those $500 and change. And they're complete garbage, in my opinion. And the science I showed with a laser temperature and all that, I put a lot of science into it and proof that, hey, it's a waste of money. And I took a lot of flack from that, but that's okay. I can carry the flack. I don't care. Because I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the clout. I'm in this to have fun and help the community. And I love this community. Motorcycle community is the best community out there because we're out there to help each other as much as we can. And I'm not going to sit there and say, this product is the best product. 6 months later, have another product that says, oh, this is the best product. You know, go from sunglasses to glasses. No, this is the best product for these sunglasses. 6 months later, oh, these glasses are the best product. You know, to me, you lose credibility. Absolutely. And I don't believe in that. I really don't. And I can't. You know. But so that answers that question. Okay. Hardwire says,
you want to talk about the C6 and Sloppy?
The what?
C6 and Sloppy's little incident.
Oh yes, let's bring that up. Thank you very much. The whiskey's starting to hit me. So let's make this full screen so everybody can see it a lot easier. This is Sloppy's ride at the kind of late. All right, here he is doing a stunt in Daytona.
So he's out in the Daytona area and he's getting ready to jump this bike. And he has the C6 on, and you can see when he comes down, he slams into the handlebars of the bike, and then he goes straight into the ground, and he's knocked out cold.
Now, was the chin visor and everything up? Because it shows him here with it up.
Luckily, the helmet was fully locked in, strapped on tight. He jumps here, comes down, his head bangs off the bars, and then I think that's what knocked him out. And then he ragdolled just right down into the ground, and he's out right there.
Wow.
So the helmet was fully strapped on, fully locked down. And as you saw when he hit the ground and it was laying there, the helmet was fully intact. Some of the small plastic pieces came off that are supposed to obviously come off when there's some sort of impact. But he did suffer a little bit of a mild concussion, I think, from his teeth. But yeah, he walked away from that. And the story behind that is we had been watching him. The team is just myself and Kyle that do, marketing work with all the influencers, affiliates, stunt riders, all that. And Kyle reached out to him, and he was actually Sloppy was kind of checking us out for some time, and saw our product out and was really interested in it and just came together. And we were at the show and we had him come over and we wanted to get him in the helmet because, you know, he was doing some events and stuff. And I just grabbed the one that I had just put on a few days ago with a certain lens. I was at Supercross with it, you know, I was showing some people there, but I had a couple that I was wearing, but that's the one, and that was his size. And I just yelled to Kyle, like, hey, give him mine. It's already got a great lens. It's ready to go. And boom, that went on his head on a Thursday. And then that accident happened, I believe, on Saturday. And I sent you a link. You don't have to play that, but that link does show where we brought him in after the accident. He was all for it. He's like, hey, I want to come in and tell the story, you know.
So he came in and talked about it, but it potentially saved his life.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna bring it up right now.
You know, he was wearing a helmet before, but
this thing saved my life the other day when I hit that jump. There's not another helmet in my arsenal, or I don't know about even on the market, that would have protected me like this one did. All I got is a black eye and nothing else, man. I knocked my face. I knocked my face into my handlebars from a 60-foot motocross jump. All that momentum landing on a flat to a headbutt to the bars and risers. And like I said, this helmet is still intact. Nothing's even broken. The only thing that's wrong with it is a little front cap that pops off and pops right back on. Literally, the helmet isn't even broken. And there's not another helmet that I trust more after that event than this one right here. And that's the fully carbon C6 Daytona helmet. And I want my people to have the same level of safety as I did for the same beautiful, unbeatable price on the market. $440. This one's yours. Use the discount code. I'm going to start on wildrider.com so all my people have the same opportunity.
That's awesome.
And he was, you know, he was laying in the hospital. He's like, I want to come in and talk with you guys, and him and Kyle put that together.
Yep.
It was just really cool. We felt like we were a part of something that's bigger than any of us expected. And it's not about marketing the C6. It's about real use in a real life scenario. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to work with some of the stunt riders. You know, these stunt riders, I'll be very upfront, most of them they're so obsessed with and passionate about riding and stuff. They don't have regular jobs. They don't live a lavish life. The jobs that they do, they just want to ride and entertain, and it gives them purpose. And to put helmets on some of these guys, they don't have, you know, they're not making a lot of money. They're working, wrenching on their bikes all the time with used takeoff parts and stuff. So putting helmets on these guys and making sure they'll at least be safe if something was to happen like that, that's rewarding for us. And that's giving back to, you know, the community, because these guys are out entertaining the people want $100,000 road glides showing up to spend whatever they want, you know. And we try and do a little bit with everybody. Give back to that community.
Yep. See, Oakley says, hey, Oakley, how you doing? Says, I'm not the biggest fan of wearing helmets, but obviously would never wear one, but don't like the weight. Your personal vision and diminished recovery can really suck, but we need one. Well, I'm gonna say, go back and watch my video on the Daytona helmets. I did a weight comparison between the Harley Davidson, which was manufactured by HJC, as far as weight difference, to the Daytona helmets carbon fiber. And there was a significant weight difference, which would make it, I feel, big difference on long rides, whether it's a 3 to 6 hour or 8 hour ride. I'm looking forward to a 6 hour ride down to Gettysburg with this helmet and their communicators, which we're going to talk about here real soon, as far as other products that Daytona Helmets offers. They have everything. As a matter of fact, when I called down and talked to them about returning the helmet we bought for my wife, they says, oh, you should have told us, we would have installed that communicator for you, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And here's the link for Daytona Helmets. But if you want 15% off, and you want to save yourself 15% off, and I don't get anything out of it, the link is in the description and scrolling across the bottom of the screen. The It's Daytona Helmets /discount /Dr. Harley. Save yourself $15. I make nothing on it. I just want to see you. And the best product that I feel is on the market that will save you money and save your life. So let's talk about the communicators. Boom, I got questions. I bought 2 of these, one for the wife and one for myself. And reading the instructions, going through, they are Bluetooth. And I have to link the two together, which is fine. But when I'm out riding with a group of friends and they have Cenas or they have Cardos and they have the open mesh, does this have the open mesh?
So I have not had the pleasure of hooking into any of those yet. I actually didn't even, I've only used these for helmet to helmet with Daytona and taking phone calls and stuff like that. It is obviously supposed to work with them. I think the mesh is a little different though. There's a Bluetooth mode typically in those. I would have to get some answers specifically on that and give you a little bit of feedback from my end. So why don't we make that for maybe a recap once we do another short episode. We'll get all those questions answered and let's do something more in depth.
Yeah, because you know what, to be honest with you, one time my wife and I, we were riding up to Laconia and we were having a private conversation on our Cenas, which has the open mesh, and we were having a private conversation. Next thing I know, we're picking up people that we don't even know. So we had to stop our private conversation because we don't want our private conversation to be known to people we don't know. So I don't like the open mesh. I like the fact that it's Bluetooth to Bluetooth from me to her, because when we're riding and we're going on the road, I want to know, does she need a break? Or if she has something she wants to tell me. I don't need to have everybody else's conversation in my head at the same time.
Yeah, and ours, for these, you can have up to 8 riders. So it's nice to have a group. And let's say even if you got a group of 20, you're 2 in the point, you're 2 running the tail, and then maybe a couple in the middle, just to have it in case for safety and stuff like that. I don't see a problem with it, and I'm like you. I don't want to accidentally connect to somebody and have conversations and so on. I want to stay within my own network, and that's what I do like about this. I've never had any interference with anything.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wasn't happy that happened, but when you have an open mesh, it's open, which means anybody can hear it and anybody can listen in. But when you have a Bluetooth communication between you and your passenger, or you and somebody else in your ride, it's a private conversation. Nobody else can interject themselves on or listen in on. So I'm really happy about that. And to give everybody an idea, their Bluetooth communicators are roughly about $200, which if you look at Cardo, Cena, or AS Max, which I have nothing against those companies. I really don't. They make some amazing products. I think that what they do is amazing. What they do is great. But for the price point, with the 15% discount, using my discount code, I mean, you're talking $30 off. 15% of $200 is $30, so it's $170 for communication. And when you're buying 2, that's a $60 savings. And that's $60 more in my pocket, which means 3 tanks of gas, which means 600 more miles and smiles.
And, you're going to be able to call us if there's any issues, which I know there's not going to be, but if you have any questions, any technical questions. The product, I put it up against any of them. I mean, I have a Cardo in my Ghost Bandit. I was just listening to this today. I had to run down to my attorney and drop off a speeding ticket from Bike Week. But I was listening, to the music inside, and I like to test the product, Yeah. I can't work for somebody and sell something I don't believe in. And I would put it up against, now I haven't tried a Cena or Lexan. I'm I had Cardo. I don't see any negatives about the product, and I can hear it clean, and it has really good low end bass. And obviously the closer you put the speakers inside of the helmet to your ears, you can add a couple extra Velcro padding if you want it closer, if you want a little farther apart. Obviously the closer it's going to be a little bit louder. I think it's great. You can't beat the price point.
Well, I
You're
tell
not
you
going to
what,
find something for $170 that connects up to 8 people.
I mean, my wife and I, we had seen this in the past. And when the batteries dropped about 50%, we had to speak a lot slower so we can understand each other.
Yeah.
So instead of talking like this, we had to talk, you get the idea, to understand each other. So I'm kind of curious when we go to Gettysburg and we're using these for the first time. That's probably when we're going to use them for the first time, to be honest with you, because we go to Gettysburg, because that's the first long trip we have coming up.
Yeah.
That's what the battery's going to be like at 50%.
Yeah.
And what the sound quality is like. And I'm going to do a follow-up with it. And if anybody's interested, I'm going to do an install video on the C6 helmet with these, because my wife and I both have the C6. Which brings up a good question here. Somebody from Butler Brother Baggers. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the show. I haven't seen you before, but welcome to the Dr. Harley show. When will the C6 extra large be back in stock?
Yeah, shout out to S&S Contracting. I completely agree. You got to stand behind something and know the product. I believe June, July at the latest, but I'm thinking around mid to late June. So if anyone's interested, again, that may have just joined the show recently, just shoot us an email, affiliates@DaytonaHelmets.com. Send your name, phone number, size, and address. What size are you? Do you know your centimeter size in helmet?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Now you're going to ask me that.
Okay, most people don't, like I do. But if you have a current helmet, stick your size in there. And then they typically fit true to size of what you're probably in now. But did
they actually are larger because I normally wear a small. And when we sized the helmet up to me in Daytona, it was a medium.
Okay.
Because remember I said to you, I would normally wear a small.
Yeah.
I look like a medium.
I think it's safe. Most people usually like to step up a little bit with ours. We have really plush materials on the inside, and they are kind of tight fitting because we want that to conform to the face. If there's no pressure, it's not going to really wrap around your face and so on. But I have seen where a lot of people do tend to size up. But if you have a current helmet, get your centimeter measurement or inches measurement and include it in that email. And we do have that exactly.
Yep, I was bringing it up because we were talking about it. So from 22 3/4 to 23 1/4, you're a medium, which is me. Now on the HJC, I'm a small. But, you have to measure your head when you order it, so you order the right size. And if I got to ask you a question, if you order the wrong size, someone calls up and orders the wrong size. Let's say they order a large because that's what they normally wear, and they realize it's too big. Can they exchange it for a medium?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So
and also, one other really, really good thing, and I know you have a lot of subscribers and viewers that are around the world. But if you're in Daytona, if you're ever coming to Daytona, if you're somebody that's worried about the size, if you're typically a custom size, if you're somebody that's got a big head like a 3 or 4X, we do have those kind of helmets and we do custom fit. I can't tell you how many custom fits we did just at Daytona Bike Show. A couple C6s that were 2XL, the guys were like, I'm a 3X, no problem. We put them in the 2X. We figured out where it felt good, where it didn't. We go inside the helmet. We do some trimming in the foam, custom fit. I mean, we want to do whatever we can to first and foremost put our product on people's heads because we know they'll be safe in them. They'll be comfortable and they'll have the creature comforts. Well, if we need to make alterations or anything, we do that. But we typically only do that when you can make it to the warehouse and we can do that live.
Yeah. He has a dang catfish head. I got to lay off the whiskey. It's affecting me now. That's all right. That's what these are for, having a good time. Well, we've been at this an hour and 10 minutes already. I know you said you've been an hour, and we respect your time.
Yeah.
I mean, can you give us more time, or are we at the time limit?
Well, I think we covered almost everything too. You have any other questions that you had specifically?
Not me specifically, but anybody in the side chat has any specific questions for Lucas about the Daytona helmets, because I'm going to be ordering some half shells there for my wife and I. And I'm going to use the sizing that we use for our C6s for the half shells. I figure we'll be safe with that. You know, I'm a medium, she's a small, and we're going to order some half shells, most likely with carbon fiber. But, here, you guys have like t-shirts and stickers and things like you said. You're going to send me stickers, but what about t-shirts?
So we're working on apparel right now. T-shirts and hoodies obviously are going to be the first two things that we're going to have. We do have some hats, stickers. What was that, a dinosaur? It sounded like a pterodactyl out back.
Well, that was somebody with a hot rod thinking they're...
That's what I thought.
We'll have that stuff in the future, but for now, we just have hats and stickers. And like I said, coming to retail, we had a massive investment for marketing stuff, buying stuff for shows. And now our next big investment is going to be a marketing trailer for pulling, out to places like Sturgis full of helmets to make it for 12 days.
So you're headed out to Sturgis. What's your next event you're going that the Daytona Helmets is going to be at?
So Thunder Beach, and probably it's looking like we're going to be at the bike rack. There's a stunt show, and the host will be Low Life Stunts. He's going to be rocking our helmets. Might be at Miss Newbie's for a late night party. Salty Goat possibly as well. We'll definitely be putting that on our social media, but the plans are for Sturgis, Arkansas, Back of the Dragon up in West Virginia. We've got a few.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you got to reach out to Rolling Throttle and see what you can do to come up and maybe set up at the Mob in the Mountains 2025.
Yeah,
because it is an event that has exploded beyond expectations, where campsites and hotels are selling out, and I'm going to say thousands of riders are going to be at. And this is something that maybe Daytona Helmets should attend.
Yeah, I'm checking out the website, and I'm really glad you told me about it tonight. I'm trying to see specifically what little town is that in.
That's in Summersville, West Virginia.
Oh, it's New River Gorge area.
Exactly.
Yeah, I grew up in southeastern Ohio, so I've ridden all through West Virginia.
So you know the town line.
Yeah.
One of my favorite roads to me that makes the Tail of the Dragon look like child's play.
Oh man, just say West Virginia and you're already in amazing roads everywhere. I mean, the neighborhood roads are great,
Yeah, they don't know how to pave a straight road, which I love.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was around when they were bungee jumping off of the New River Gorge Bridge and all kinds of stuff. So that's really cool to see that event there.
Yep. See, Tweedle says April 19th, the Oak Ridge, Tennessee Performance Takeover.
April 19th.
I think that's a track event with...
oh, that's the one where somebody's wanting to race you in your C6 or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it to Tennessee. I'm trying to save time and money to go to Sturgis in 2026. So I'm going to put this out there. If you guys are out in Sturgis 2026, yeah, I'll come out there and promote and do what I can at your booth, if that's okay with you guys. You know what I mean? Daytona Helmets. Because, I'm not a stunt rider, but I'm a rider, an everyday rider, which everybody is, and I can relate to them. So if you want, I'd be more than happy to do that in Sturgis. We're going to be out there for maybe the first couple of days of the rally, then we're beating feet because we're going to be out there the week before so we can do all the riding.
Yeah. One thing I did want to chat about since I'm on here. I've gotten a lot of questions from people. They've seen combat vets, motorcycle club people.
Not a motorcycle. Combat Vets is not a motorcycle club. It's a motorcycle. It's a veterans organization.
Correct.
I was a member of the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association.
Oh, awesome. But they've, people have messaged us inquiring. They've seen us work with MC clubs that are RC clubs. You've got everything from like CMA to combat vets to LEO clubs, all kinds of different stuff. We work with the individual person, and most of those clubs are they're veterans anyway. We don't work with clubs like brands and specific club names and things like that. We work with the individuals. We just work with people. You can't sell helmets in the world and not sell helmets to every walk of life. We don't get involved in clubs, politics, any kind of stuff like that. But you'll see our stuff on every kind of rider out there. But one thing I did when I came to the table was I wanted to recognize people that are on motorcycles the most. And I wanted them to know, because a lot of them are blue collar, they're veterans and so on. I wanted them to know that there's a better helmet out there for the money, the safety, the comfortability, things like that, affordability. And that's what I've been working in very deeply, and recognizing these individuals. I mean, a lot of them, they live on their motorcycle. They can't stand to be in a vehicle. And, working with them has been really cool to recognize just people out there pounding thousands of miles. I mean, I don't know how many miles you put on your bike last year, but I think I did
10,000 miles.
Okay, I did like 12.4 or 12.6. I was out west for 31 days. I did Yellowstone and Montana, Colorado, Sturgis. I mean, God, what a trip of a lifetime, But I just wanted to say that because some people will say, hey, you guys got helmets on these people, and we see you're working with them. Like, no, we work with people, and
I'm going to interrupt you. Give me a minute. I'm going to step off. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So I don't know where he went or what he's up to. Let's see what's in these comments here. That's funny, Dallas. Tweedle. SNS. Miles or smiles. Gotta support our vets. That's right. Recognize the people. April 13th is track day. Oak Ridge, Tennessee with rolling throttle. Week or two to be in Sturgis. Yeah, absolutely. I was there for 12 days. Is anyone going to Spring Fling in Eureka Springs? I have to check that out. Gliding through life, yep. Hopefully Myrtle Beach too. That'll be a first for us. So mini moto, how many shell sizes? It depends on which helmet. Like our Glide, we do 3X, 4X. So we have 3 different shells.
I'm sorry about that. I had to go use the bathroom. I won't lie. I'll be honest. My bladder was ready to explode. Too much whiskey and water tonight,
You gotta go.
That's it. But no, I've been through, the 99% life, the Veterans Association life, and a 1% life, and wearing a helmet. A lot of 1%ers now are wearing helmets because they're saying no face, no case. But at the same time, helmets are one of those things that can make the difference between life and death. to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, when you're pounding as many miles as these guys do that live on these motorcycles, bro, shit's going to fly up from the highway and hit you. I almost got nailed by a gator skin off of a tractor trailer tire. I mean, it's just,
Yep.
it's better to have it than, and need it than need it, not have it. Ocean City, probably not this year. It's going to be tough for us to do that one as well, but
Oktoberfest in Daytona, you guys will be at.
yeah, we'll be at the track.
And if you're ever in Daytona, their headquarters is right there in Daytona. It's less than 2 miles from Daytona International Speedway. I've been there. It's a nice showroom with some great people, and I highly recommend you, if you're in the area, stop in, even if you're just going to say hi.
Yeah, and then Smoky Mountain Bike Week. I would like to be there. I don't know how big our setup will be, but that might just be one that I'm up there enjoying because I love those mountains. Maybe we can take a rip on the Cherahalla Skyway or something.
There you go. Or who knows? Maybe Rolling Throttle will be a dealer. You might have some helmets on hand.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That would be awesome. Honestly, one of my favorite roads and a couple places. 28, the Moonshiner, is an epic road, and it's so long. You can ride it from Deals Gap all the way down to Highlands. There's a place called Two Wheel Suchess, and I think it's Hogpen Road, which comes out right there at the mouth of Two Wheel Suchess. It's a campground for motorcycles, two-wheel themed, has a restaurant and cabins and stuff. People stay there all the time. Great place. That area up there, man, the Smoky Mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, I just don't know if it gets any better than that on the East Coast. I mean, West Virginia, amazing. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but man, that area over there is just heaven.
So S&S Contracting says, to be honest, I hate helmets, but I always wear and recommend them. I don't wear helmets. I've been down long, even recommended more. But if Dr.Harley says they're good, I'll give it 100%. Right on, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I tell you, I have it. I love it. Looking forward to replace our half shells with them. And, that's how comfortable I think they are. And I'm looking forward to getting their half shells.
Absolutely. Go back to get you some country. It's so funny. I wonder how many people that are your viewers have actually been to Daytona or was here.
Actually, quite a bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Be surprised. I mean, Daytona's, especially during Bike Week and Oktoberfest, a lot of the viewers go down because, well, if you're up north like me, Bike Week in Daytona in March, we're itching to ride, and the weather's usually phenomenal to ride.
Yeah,
we look forward to riding around in a t-shirt, at the very most a sweatshirt or a hoodie.
Yeah,
and and that's our chance to do it in March. Now, Gliding Through Life says he's never been to Daytona Bike Week, but he'd love to. It's on his bucket list. But he's out in the North Midwest. So it's quite a bit of a commitment for him to go. And I understand that.
Yeah.
Just like it's quite of a commitment for me to go to Sturgis. That's why I'm planning on 2026.
Yeah, take 2 weeks off if you're going to Sturgis. Make it
work. We're going to I'm taking 2 weeks off, so I have a week of travel there and back and a week there.
Yeah. It's a good time. Definitely an epic trip.
All right. So with that being said, we've been at this almost an hour and a half. I'm going to give you the final word of the day, or your final say, or final words of advice.
Sweet. Final word. Be kind to other human beings and look twice, save a life.
Perfect. And hey, don't take my word for it. If you want to try a Daytona helmet, please do. You won't be dissatisfied.
Absolutely.
But if you're stuck on Shoei or Bell because that's all you've ridden with, that's great too.
Yeah.
You know, because you get one head in life and you have one brain, and you want to keep that intact and keep you here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I always say, I want to bring you guys the coolest and best products I can find at the rallies. This was one of them, and I believe in it so much. I bought one not just for myself, but for my wife. So
Yep.
if I believe in enough to keep my wife's head safe, the way I ride, you know, I want you guys to be as safe too.
That's it. That's exactly it. You know, when you're entrusting equipment, especially after seeing Sloppy's accident, I was like, all right. And believe me, there's testimonials we get at the company all the time. Hey, I went down. This is what happened. They'll send photos of the helmet. I mean, his helmet didn't even spider web. We took it apart and looked at it. It's perfectly fine. So
X-rayed it.
no, didn't necessarily X-ray it. Just looked for any kind of spider webbing with some good lighting and stuff like that. But obviously, he's not wearing that helmet anymore. We got him a new one, but
a replacement.
yeah, it was good to look at that helmet and really see what it had gone through, and it passed all the ECE standards, which are, in my opinion, more in depth than DOT. So it's a great helmet.
Yeah, right on. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you and your time that you spent here with us.
Yeah.
Until the next time, I want you to live the best life you can. Ride often, and as always, ride hard.
Thank you, sir.